Hi everyone. I was updating my sewing kit, or my housewife kit as some people like to call it, and I wanted to do a video on it because I want to sort of streamline it a little bit. I usually just kept everything in sort of a big Ziploc bag and quite a big amount of thread, like big spools of thread and so on. So I wanted to just reduce the size of it down. The weight really isn't an issue, but I mean it's a good thing when the weight is reduced. But I wanted to reduce the size down. So these are the things that I like to have with me, especially when I used to travel, and that I found quite helpful. Now, instead of buying a pre-made kit, I would always recommend that you make your kit. A lot of people say that it's a little bit expensive, but in the long run it will sustain you a lot longer, and that investment will definitely be more helpful than just buying a pre-made kit. Just like a first aid kit, I would highly recommend that you make your own first aid kit instead of buying one straight off the shelf, because a lot of the material that they give you is quite frankly inferior and that you don't need, so you need to tailor it. And that word tailor, sorry, same with the sewing kit. So let me go through a couple of things, and then I'll show you how I'm going to streamline it down a bit more. So first of all, needles. Now I have been carrying all the needles like this. As you can see, some are missing, some have been used, and some have been given away. But obviously I don't want to carry it like this anymore. I want to I don't need all of these needles. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to have two small needles. Sorry, excuse me. Two small needles, two small needles, one medium needle, which is this one, and then one bigger needle, which is one in here. And put them into this plastic vial here. This is a 10mm vial. I bought these off Amazon, and they will go into here. Together with the needles, I will place this stitch hook. Highly likely I will get rid of the top, because this will go into there, so it will just remove additional things. Or if you really wanted, you could actually put the needles in here as well, but it's sometimes just with a nudge it can sort of open and the needles can get lost. So I would probably just get rid of this and put this reverse into the 10mm vial. Now, instead of using the big spools of thread, let me see if I can quickly find one, like this one. I don't want to be carrying this because there isn't much thread on here. I'd say the thread is only about up to there. I prefer carrying these. So I've actually just put. You can actually just go to the dollar store or the pound shop and buy these reels. They sell them like for 10 of them for £1. So you can just go and buy them, and then you can put your thread onto them, which I think is a far better idea. Now, I've been looking at all my shirts and all my suits and all my trousers, and I took out everything, all my clothes and stuff, and I sort of put them down onto a big table, and I looked at all the threads, and I said to myself, what two colours would I need to repair them? And frankly, the only colour I actually need is white. For all my clothes, white will do. For my trousers, a darker colour would be more appropriate. But a lot of even the blue trousers sometimes use a black thread. So if I needed to make a repair to them, the white and black thread would be perfect for me. Now, this is just standard, good quality thread. It is not Kevlar thread or anything like that. I don't think I would need that for repairing clothes. I would, however, put in one of these reels of some very strong sailing thread, black sailing thread. And the good thing about that is that if you need to make repairs to your bag, then you are able to do that, because this is not strong enough to do a repair to your bag, because it'll take a lot of time. and it'll take a lot of material thread to do it. Kevlar thread, I think it's just one of those things that is just people are sort of marketing to people. I don't really believe in it for sort of everyday kind of things. So just get some sail thread, which is quite thick, and that will definitely hold your bag together because it's actually used to hold sailing sails on boats together. So that's the thread. My hands do shake. So I do have, usually you get a pack of 3, and again 2 of them have been given away. This is the, it's the, I always forget the words. It's, you put thread into, it's the threader. So you put thread into here, and then you slip it into the eye of the needle, and you pull the thread, and then you just pull this back out. With this, I don't need all of these for what I would want to tailor this kit to. The only needle from here I would take is number 5, the sail needle, which is this one. Again, this is for yachting. It'll be perfect, and also it's also perfect for stronger bags as well. So this is the only needle I would take from here. Then I would have 5 needles in there, and that would be perfect to cover absolutely everything. Standard tailor's measuring tape. Safety pins are perfect. A thumb, a primary finger stud. Now this is so that you don't stab yourself when you put the needle through, and when you go for it, you usually should do it like this. So you shouldn't. The needle doesn't stab you in your finger. And the other thing I like having is a Chinagraph pencil. Now this is just a standard Chinagraph pencil. I wouldn't recommend this brand. It's not really that good. It's rubbish. I mean, these are the ones that I could find. I mean, I bought this a very long time ago, but now I'm going to replace this one with the Staedtler ones. And the name of the Staedtler ones, I wrote them down. The ones I would recommend are Staedtler Lumocolor Omnichrome 108 non-permanent dry marker. Now that's the actual name of the Chinagraph pencil. They are very, very high quality pencils, and they're not expensive. I think I paid 99p for this, and for one pencil, and I think the Staedtler ones are around that same price range, but they last for ages. 2 really strong rubber bands, and a pair of scissors. Now this is a new addition. I usually just use the scissors on my Swiss Army knife, but I just wanted to treat myself, and I had my eyes on these Victorinox Taylor's Swan Scissors for a very long time, so I decided to go ahead and buy them. They're just really fantastic to use, probably not with my gloves that much, but they just have, they're just really, really sharp scissors, and really to a precise point. I really like these. My sister has one, and she uses them quite a lot at home for sewing and stuff. That's the model number there, 8.1040.12. Very good scissors, very accurate, and they will last you a lifetime. I don't ever envisage on changing these for as long as I live, quite frankly, because the quality of these by Victorinox is impeccable. The final thing that I wanted to put in here, that I have had in here for some time, as you can see it's been used quite a bit, is Velcro. Additional Velcro, so when Velcro comes off or something on your pouches, you can very easily replace it. This white bit is just tape, so you take the tape off, put the Velcro on, and then on the side of what a lot of people do often forget is that on the side of the Velcro here, if I can just try and make this focus now, sorry. Let's see if it focuses. On the side of the Velcro, there is a plain bit here, and this is the part that you actually sew with the black thread onto the material. The sticky part of the Velcro is actually just to hold this in place, but you must sew it on. You must sew it onto the material to maintain the integrity of the Velcro action, because if you don't sew it on, then during a lot of opening and closing and during heat transfer, if you're in a hot climate, it will come off, so you should always sew it on. So the black thread goes with that, and then just black sail thread. I will make two of these sailing spools of the sail thread, and that will go into here. This will go, and I will put a couple of safety holding pins in a separate vial. I bought lots of vials, so I'll put a couple of these into here as well. They just come in really handy when if you're dealing with a cloth that has a rip in it, just to hold it in place. They're really helpful. So I'll put about 10 for minor repairs, and that will be my sewing kit. Obviously not the highlighter. You don't need this much. Instead of using tailor's chalk, which tends to break quite easily, I think the China pencil is fine. Obviously you don't need it this size. I'll probably just cut it to about this size. I will just cut it off with my Leatherman and have this much size to it, and that way I can have everything in a small plastic bag. I will highly likely also take this cardboard out, because I've always just carried it like this, so I will downsize and get rid of the unnecessary things in it. I'll take the cardboard out, and this will just fold into half the size that it is now, and then it'll be a lot smaller, and I will put it into a one of the Ziploc bags, a really heavy duty Ziploc bags, and that way you are always ready to go absolutely anywhere, and you can repair your own equipment, whether you are going to a meeting and a button falls out, or whether you are travelling and you need to do repair to your shirt or your trousers or your bag. Self-sufficiency is a very good thing, and a lot of people I feel tend to ignore it, and I think you're doing yourself an injustice, because sewing is a skill, and if you have it and if you learn it, then you have another tool in your belt, you have another tool in your mind that you can use to do things and look after yourself. And if you can look after yourself, then you can look after people around you. And it's not about cutting yourself off from the world. You know, if my suit breaks, and I'm at home, but in the past when I used to travel, when my suit breaks and I didn't know how to do it, I would always bring it back and give it to my aunt to fix. So yeah, I mean, it's not about cutting yourself off, it's about looking after yourself temporarily until you get back to your group, your family, your friends, and I think that's a very good thing, and I really encourage that. So that's been my sewing kit, housewife kit, and yeah, give me some suggestions if you have them, and feel free to leave any comments. Thank you very much for watching. Bye.